Do you feel like having a cup of tea at the...
Not really, no.
Not really. Hi folks, Tom Fan Davidosi, thanks for tuning in. Here with another video for the Highlander series, and I'm back with Peter Anninen, who's a traditional hide tanner. Yeah, you've probably seen him in some of my past videos. And today we're going to do a bit of experimental archaeology. So for those who have seen my past videos in the series, you know I mainly look at this time period in history in the context of wilderness survival skills. Now of course, water is one of the main priorities for survival, and boiling water is the most effective way of killing all biological contaminants. So obviously boiling water in a metal pot is the most obvious way, but a few hundred years ago metal was really expensive, and you know, the average person, the average household, they could probably afford 1 or 2 large pots to do the entire household, but that was it. It was unlikely people had smaller ones they could take with them, and obviously the bigger ones are just not very practical. So how might have someone cooked and boiled water on the go? Now we know of rock boiling, different methods, different containers, but that's not always the most practical method depending on your environment. But flicking through the book The Highland Folkways, we found something quite interesting that we might try out. So on page 189 it talks about different methods of cooking and boiling, and it says, but a primitive way of boiling was in skins or paunches of an animal suspended over the fire on sticks. So paunches is a stomach,
yeah,
right?
Stomach, yeah.
Stomach. Yep. So it's not saying rock boiling, it's just saying skin with water suspended over the fire. Now I know this is possible with plastic bottles and things, basically,
and cardboard,
like basically the idea that the material that you're holding, suspending the water in, because it's staying wet, then it's not combusting, it's not burning. So this interested both of us. Neither of us tried it. So we have a deer skin here. So this it was salted, right?
Yep.
And I've fleshed it and we washed off the salt. So it's pretty much like a rawhide. It's pretty much as if we'd just taken it off the animal, right? So you know, that's what I read out. That's all the book said. We don't have anything else to go on for. So we're basically just going to experiment and see what we can do. So we harvested a wee bit of willow.
From the garden across there?
Yeah, from the garden. Very handy. So we're probably going to try and make some sort of frame. We've got a tripod set up, and basically, just do a bit of guesswork. Stick some water in it and see if we can boil it with some, just out of a rawhide bag. So.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So for doing this sort of experimental archaeology, interesting to try put your mind into the person, and we're sort of talking about when this sort of method might be applicable. So we're talking, you know, I was thinking of it as a sort of lightweight method. So instead of having a metal pot, you could carry a piece of skin, a bag of skin that would be multifunctional. But then we're also talking, you know, if you just hunted an animal, you had a fresh hide. In the previous video, I talked about making these shoes, which were often made just from fresh hides. So it's something that you can do just as you're butchering the animal, as you're dividing up, you know, different parts, different meats. Then you can, you know, make a bag to carry your meat out with you. So then, you know, if you're sitting on the hill, sitting in the forest, you want to cook up a brew.
Clean some water so you can actually have a drink.
Clean some water. Cook your porridge.
Or you can make a haggis.
Or make a haggis, or make a meat stew. Then it's sort of, it makes sense to be able to you know, make a bag like this on the fly, if it actually works. But you presume it would work. If you had a book.
See.
We'll see.
I mean, they did mention stomach, which that makes it maybe a bit easier, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We just made a really rough hoop with willow.
What we're thinking is, like, you'd want to keep the back section of the hide for making your shoes, so your section that you'd have empty and free would be your front section where the neck is and things. So I think we'll maybe cut that bit, and then we'll use that as making the sack for boiling the water in.
It's got a strip of rawhide we could use as cordage. And here is the finished bag, very rough bag. It's sort of like a nice little handbag. So yeah, just a really simple willow hoop. Probably should have used a thicker bit of willow, but we'll see how this works. I've got another strip of rawhide to suspend the bag with the fire. So let's set it up and see if we can boil some water. So we are already learning. Yep. What seems to be happening is the skin is shrinking with the heat, and then it's just kind of the holes that we've made
for the
stitching, it's just kind of pulling them down to the water level, and then keep on like springing little leaks, and we'll sort of adjust it and it will stop leaking, and then like 5 minutes later a new leak will spring.
Yeah. I think if we made it longer next time, I think that would be...
Yeah, so make the bag longer. Yeah. Do you think they're still having that sort of circular with the round? Or?
Maybe, or maybe as you said, sticks going across.
So sticks across?
Yeah, maybe squared lash sticks.
Squared, yeah. I'm also wondering maybe we didn't need the willow, we could have just kind of sewn it up with the rawhide.
Yeah. And maybe they just referred to it wrong in the book, maybe it was just the stomach.
Maybe it was just the stomach, yeah.
Because would you want to burn your
hair, yeah, when that
hide,
having a hair,
you could use that for something.
Exactly, you could make clothes or something.
Yeah. Getting into like a kangaroo pouch or something.
Yeah. Okay, so it's sort of boiling, but I would say it's not been all that successful. We started off with about 1.5 litres of water in there.
Then we've got a cupful maybe?
Yeah, I know, we've probably only got 0.5 litre left. Yeah, and I'm wondering if that hair is acting like an insulator and it's not really allowing all the heat of the fire to come up.
So what you could do is you could either heat it up and just singe all the hair off and then use it like that.
You could do
that,
that,
one way. Or lime it, but then you've got... But then you're not going to have time to do that on a hill.
To do that, yeah. So I guess this way we're thinking, you know, you've just killed an animal and you want to make some tea. But then as we discussed earlier, it probably makes more sense to use the stomach. Yeah. I mean, the first time I read that in the book, I thought, oh, it must be a tanned bit of leather that they've formed a bag and it's more multifunctional.
Yeah. Something to experiment with.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting again, because all the different methods of tanning just makes it them have such different properties. So out of bark or peat tan, what do you think is?
I think peat could be interesting because
it doesn't expand.
It doesn't expand and contract, but we'd have to see, because with bark tan it kind of insulates the hide. It's able to deal with a higher temperature than raw hide. So yeah, it's something worthwhile trying. Yeah.
So yeah, lots to play around with, but at least we know this isn't the great method. Yeah. I'm glad we're not in a survival situation, because I don't know, do you feel like having a cup of tea at the...
Not really, no.
Not really. It's full of, probably tastes like burnt hair.
Yeah.
But there you go.
We'll try stomach, I think, next time.
Yeah, we'll try some other stuff next time. But thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this wee lesson. Wee experiment. This is all about, you know, all this stuff has just been lost, so it's kind of our job to rediscover it, I reckon.
Exactly.
So. Thanks for watching, folks, and let me know in the comments whether you've tried or know of ways of boiling water in animal skin or stomachs, and I can try revisit this experiment in the future. If you haven't seen my previous video with Peter on traditional skin tanning, then definitely go check that out and you can learn a lot from him. Also check out Peter's website for his products, services and courses. Thanks to all my patrons and supporters. You guys are awesome, and you can find ways of helping keep the channel going via the links below. Cheers.